If we can make our practice better by taking time to reflect, we're able to make positive changes with families, which means better outcomes for children. It improves our decision making and develops our skills, meaning we can learn from each other and adapt and change our approach. We can progress plans and improve outcomes. Here in Cheshire West and Chester, we are committed to promoting reflective practice in social work. This is shown through the senior practice leads, who facilitate monthly groups which allow our social workers time out and opportunity to reflect and learn from each other. Group supervision allows for discussion and reflection with other social workers in your team. It's an opportunity to discuss case issues and explore ways of developing practice, all underpinned by theory and research. Formal supervision. Reflective supervision with a team manager looks at the child. It is facilitating a discussion with the social worker, supporting them to reflect on what life is like for the child. The social worker. Reflective supervision also looks at the social worker's needs and development, helping them to improve their practice. Informal reflective practice. Our social workers reflect throughout the day, in the office, in the car, or over lunch. These informal case discussions help us to share our knowledge and skills and debrief after challenging situations.
Reflective practice is about continuous learning. It's about sharing those experiences with colleagues. It's about learning from them, and it's about gaining other people's perspectives.
Reflective practice is to inform ongoing learning process. It's to look at your decision making, your approaches, and what actions you take.
Reflective practice enables you to be able to think of the child and what it's like for them and what it's like being a child within that family and within family life.
I reflect from the moment I walk out of that house, the moment I walk out of that meeting, to the moment I sit down at my desk and discuss it with colleagues, and they give me another perspective on what I've just done.
That's a positive aspect of Cheshire West and Chester's approach to reflective practice, and the safe environment in which you're provided the opportunity to reflect, ultimately to improve how you work with that family, to improve the outcome for them.
Outcomes are the changes that we bring about, and it's the difference that we make in people's lives. Outcomes are not necessarily always positive, and that's where reflective practice is significant in making sure that we review and we continually learn about our practice, about our approaches, and be willing to change what we do.
The benefits of reflective practice means that I'm a better practitioner. If I'm a better practitioner, I'm getting better outcomes for our children.
I mean, the purpose of reflective practice is to improve our own practice as a social worker, but in turn, obviously, that improves outcomes for children. We're here to support outcomes for children and families, but in looking at our own self-practice, that can only inform that process, really. So I think for the social worker, it's hugely important, but even more important for children and families.
Cheshire West and Chester has the role of a senior practice lead, and the senior practice lead is there to support, mentor and develop individuals within social care, and I think that role has greatly enhanced the use of reflective practice. Cheshire West and Chester are working hard with senior practice leads to encourage a culture of active reflection, either on an individual basis or within a group. Reflective practice is essential within all aspects of social work because it gives practitioners that time to be able to think about the impact of their interventions. I think if practitioners weren't allowed the opportunity to reflect upon the work that they undertake with families, it may well drive their practice in a very process-driven way. I think it's important for practitioners to be able to give that opportunity to reflect upon the work that they do to improve their practice, but also to think about how their practice impacts on the outcomes for children and families.